I got 6 o'clock.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, number 3, approved agenda. There is a change on the agenda. Number 18 is not going to be in effect, so we're scratching number 18 on the agenda.
So could we just leave that as normal then, if needed, rather than saying contracts?
If
If we,
additional
Because
executive session.
usually that's what it says, so.
this one here does say for contracts.
Correct. Assuming that we change number 18 from SDCL 12524 contracts to if needed, I would move that we approve the agenda.
I will second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. See, that was Dan. Approve the minutes of the May 7th and May 21st meetings.
Any changes there?
Not that I know of.
Okay, then I will make the motion to approve the May 7th and the May 21st minutes.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Minister oath of office to Linda Talbot.
Where's Linda?
Right across
Figured that was you. It's the only one I haven't seen. All right, raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Linda Talbot,
I, Linda Talbot,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United
and
States
the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of South Dakota,
of the State of South Dakota,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
of Alderman in and for Ward 1
of Alderman in and for Ward 1
for the City of Alcester,
for the City of Alcester,
Union County, South Dakota,
Union County, South Dakota,
to which office I have been duly appointed.
to which office I have been duly appointed.
You can go ahead and sign it.
You want me to sign it like that, because I don't ever sign my name like that.
However you,
Okay.
however you choose to sign, as long as I see you do it, we're okay. Thank you.
Okay. Congratulations.
Too late to back out now.
You're it. Okay. Mayor appointments of council committees. I think everybody has a list. Is everyone okay with what's on there?
Yes.
Okay. David, you cool?
Yes.
Okay. Lance?
Yes.
Okay. Melissa? Okay. All right, we're cool. Number 7, public input.
I have Vicki Larson. In front of you, the council members, you have a sheet concerning pool rules. And then there's a couple other sheets showing one from Alma, Nebraska. One thing that I want to point out is there's also a photograph. There's no pool rules posted at the pool as of yesterday. Children younger than 6 years old should not use pool slides. No holding toys, and slide down feet first all the time. I went by the pool and I saw young people sliding down the slide head first, backwards, flat on their back. That's dangerous and it's a big no-no. And there's 3 different I gave you, most of you, this one, and on the table are the other two that you can read, varying dates, but it's something you need to be aware of, and now that I have made you aware, any decisions that you make in the future should protect you. The thing is that you need to have those posted, and the one lifeguard was sitting with her back to the office and had her head down, and I watched her kind of ignoring these older kids sliding down on their backs and head first. The other thing is there are a couple children that appeared, and I want to make sure that that's clear, appeared to be 6 years old or less, and according to these guidelines, they shouldn't be on the slide. So.
Okay, thank you. Any other public input? I do have one thing from some citizens that have contacted me, and they're concerned about some of the properties around town. They come and say, you know, it isn't right that they keep up their property nice. Other properties look like a jungle or look like a junkyard, and it decreases the value of their own property. So we need to think of some ways, something we can do to alleviate this problem, because in the last 2 weeks I've had 3 or 4 people come to, at least 3, I think there might have been 4, come to me and say, what can you do about it? So I'd like all you guys to think about, come up with something, and we'll discuss it at the next meeting. Come up with some ideas on how we can get this taken care of.
Has our compliance officer been around to survey the town?
They,
Has not.
he hasn't been,
No, he'll be at finance officer school this week, and then his first available time would be next week.
and I know there's been some letters sent out for people to do some mowing and things like that, but there's more than just that, than just mowing. Some of the properties just look trashy, and it isn't an idea that they're asking somebody to spend a whole lot of money to fix their place up. It's just mow their lawn, get the junk picked up, and keep it looking halfway decent. That's all they're asking. So anyway, we need to come up with some ideas on, I guess, how to force them to do this, because I don't know how to do that. So I'm asking you guys, next meeting, just bring me some ideas that we can work with. Okay. City council public hearing. Well, I'm sorry, was there any more public input? No? Okay. City council public hearing.
That's
Oh, it's not till 6:30.
There you go.
All right. Street pool updates, Lonnie?
I don't have much on street updates, other than we might try painting downtown this week if weather permits. So that'll require sweeping one night and painting the next. And hopefully next week we'll start patching streets. And then I think we can move on to B, which is about that new crosswalk light that they installed for the safe walk to school. Basically, the DOT said they didn't want to put the times on there, so they kinda left it up to us. So basically, we need to decide when we want that thing flashing, cause I didn't see buttons up there for anybody to push. So, I suppose the decision is, do we use it just for school, do we use it for daytime summer when the kids are going to the pool?
Can we put buttons on there?
What's that?
Can we put buttons on there?
I have no idea. The problem is they're too far off the sidewalk. They didn't put them, so you'd have to walk over through somebody's yard to them, so. I suppose you could put some stationary thing out there, but
Okay. Got anything else?
I mean, does anybody have any idea on what we should do for a time on it, or let it flash all the time, or what?
Well, yeah, I'm wondering about that. I mean, I guess I've not seen the sign up, but what does it actually say, or is
They're
it
just flashing yellow lights.
Okay, so it's got a crosswalk sign, basically a picture of a pedestrian walking.
Pedestrian crosswalk.
Yeah. And just,
A flashing light on top.
that's it.
Yep.
I don't see anything wrong with leaving it on all the time.
Does it flash really bright?
I
Would it
have-
bother some of the neighbors?
I have no idea because it isn't actually powered yet. It's gotta be inspected by the electrical inspector and then Mid-American will hook it up and then, I'm guessing they're probably bright, I'm guessing they're LED. Aren't they?
Yeah, depending on what, you know, if it
Yeah,
shines.
that's a good point. I wonder how it's angled.
Yeah.
Well,
I
It's
guess that
angled
would be-
toward the street so that,
the one that faces, let's see, the one that,
It's the second to
Yeah.
last street.
yeah, the one that faces south,
Up by
maybe
the
cause some
southeastern corner.
problems.
No,
Oh,
what, not south.
because it's on
You know
the,
where
yeah,
Fort
it's on
Hartman is?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
the east side of the,
Lonnie?
of 11.
Pool hours. You might set it up for pool hours.
that's kind of what I was thinking, or
Yeah, I
even
would say-
earlier, cause daycares go across the
In Peterson's corner.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
okay.
I was
will.
thinking like
So
work
there's one
hours,
on those sides.
7 to 5
Yeah.
or something.
There's a crosswalk there.
Yeah,
It goes
it's-
over to the
So
park.
there's a light on.
If you just do it during business hours, 7 to 5 is not gonna bother anybody at night.
Right.
That's kind of the hours I was thinking, just 7 to 5,
That would cover any school or school hours.
at least during the summer,
Yeah.
you know.
What about
Depends,
people that
yeah.
might use the pool in the evening or the park?
We could go to 8 or 9 o'clock at night,
So
and
we
that's,
wanna
That's what
maybe-
I would do, at least run it.
I think so.
Half hour past pool closing. Well, and then you got ball games.
Yeah.
So,
I don't
half
know,
hour
I-
past, you know, last ball game at 10 o'clock.
People out for a walk, I mean, anybody that walks across that street is a pedestrian.
Yes.
They all deserve the same
Mhm.
protection.
Can you still
Summertime.
use the button, or is
10
there not a
o'clock
button
at
at
night,
all?
midnight.
there's no button at all.
Or close
at
2 a.m., people gotta go home.
Well,
Just kidding.
that's a good point, I mean,
Well, 7 in the morning till 9 at night, then it's not gonna bother anybody.
Yeah.
Something like that would,
Well, once they get it hooked up and whatnot, I'll.
and we can alter it.
Yeah.
No doubt we can alter it
People
too.
complain.
Yeah, we can change it
Yeah.
if we need to, it's, I haven't read the book yet, but it's, they handed me the book and said, good luck. So, I don't think it'll be too difficult.
Pool updates.
Pool updates, normal things going wrong at the beginning of the year, nothing major. We did have a pipe crack, but we epoxied it. And it's not dripping any water right now, so, and it's on the suction side luckily, so that helps. But we'll get parts on hand in case it goes, so, because it's gonna be kind of an extensive job to fix.
Are we getting diving board this year or no?
Pat, did you get hold of them?
I emailed MCNR, it is coming.
Okay,
But
so
I
people
don't
have
have,
asked me and I said
I don't have an ETA yet. I've got the middle of June,
Oh,
but I have not had that confirmed.
okay. I'll just tell them it's coming.
Yeah, it is coming, so.
That's all I got.
Okay,
Thanks, Bonnie.
is Dale here?
No, he
Do
wasn't
you have
gonna be
anything
here.
on the water for Dale?
Just that there's a possibility they might change the slope on that ditch over north of the new elementary. I haven't heard back from Tim Reed yet, but we may have to dig down and extend our valve boxes and whatnot, and we'll probably end up putting a hydrant on the north side of that school also, because they're abandoning a line. There's a valve there, so figured we'll just put the one that's south of the school. School now, we'll put that north, and then they have a brand new one for the south side, so. But, so yeah, if you see a bill from Waterman coming through, that's probably what it is. Having to dig down, extend those,
Okay.
but that's not for sure.
Anything on wastewater updates?
He didn't say anything, so I think we're good.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Chief Doty isn't here.
Chief Doty got called out, so he was not able to be here. He was hoping to be back by 6, but did not
Okay.
make it, so he does not have his stats reports for you, but
Okay. Well, do we have time to go into executive session for the interview? I think we do before 6:30. We have to be done by 6:30. I think we can do that. Or should we go with to the other stuff?
Let's
first?
go to the
I
other
think we
stuff,
should,
'cause it-
yeah, we should wait.
All right. Golf course updates. David?
Okay, got some grass finally growing on a couple of the greens that were having problems. We got a mower issue. It's not continuous, it just once in a while, but doesn't develop as much power as it needs. So we're trying to chase that down. That's the newer one we bought last year. Otherwise, I think everything is going all right up there.
The gas more?
No,
Diesel? So maybe a fuel issue or some kind of,
Changed the fuel filter.
yeah?
It's only got one tank, so
Huh.
I'll have to check on the suction feed and see what's going on.
Did you get a lot of trees, limbs down?
That was one big load Saturday morning.
Okay, thank you. Do we want to go into executive session for personnel on the golf course personnel?
actually, if you wanna hold off on that, we can go up to, parking at the city park.
Okay, let's do that. Number 13, finance office updates. Pat?
So in your packet, there's some pictures. I don't know if any of you have actually walked the new sidewalk, and especially down in the old ball field. One thing you may notice is that it is quite a bit higher. And they did build it, the dumpster is in place of that, in front of it right now, but it is thicker concrete there with the intention that that section can be driven over. It's 6-inch concrete versus 4-inch concrete. And if you go up there, you will notice that there is gravel on both sides. The comments that I have on that is, I don't know if we want to allow that because it's a pretty steep drop off on the north. And I think if any vehicle or if a vehicle in a trailer tried to cross that, I'm worried they would get hung up. So the question that I would like to pose, and if you don't want to make a decision tonight and you'd like to walk the grounds and get a better feel for it, but the question that I have is, do you want to continue allowing parking next to the horseshoe pits? Or do we take out the fire hydrant or move the fire hydrant that's there, take out those posts, and create a parking area in the old ball field area? I will tell you that we have already had a traffic accident. A juvenile was driving in the park and backed into the pole, the light pole. And that, part of that could be because of just being an inexperienced driver, but, and then also because we don't have an ability to turn around right now, so. Those cones will go away after 7 days. The concrete needs 7 days to cure before we can drive on it. So those cones will not always be there. But we need some input from you, how you would like to proceed. And there's always the option of not having parking down there at all, but that might be a disservice to people who want to use the open shelter or the horseshoe pit.
When it comes to I live down there, where they put the thing across, the state designed it where you can go up and over it. There's not probably a vehicle that you guys drive that will be able to go over it right now. So, and they put culverts there, but both those culverts are shooting straight down into the corner of my house. So we got flooded out the other day. So I'm trying to figure out, what do I do? Who do I talk to? What are we gonna do about the situation? You know, the state, you know, you guys can move the park because the road they put in is not designed the way it's supposed to be, but I can't move my house. So I think I got pictures if you want to look at them where the water came in and stuff, but I don't know what I'm supposed to do, who I'm supposed to contact. You know, the state says it's a city issue, they need to build it out farther to run the water off with like more of a drain. But the state says the city is responsible for it now, is my understanding. So it's not just a parking where you go over it, which I agree, moving the park is an option, you know, which I'm fine with that. But it wasn't designed right in the beginning. You know, we need to hold the state accountable that they say that we can drive over this, they pour the extra cement, but it don't work. Nobody's car will go over that. And I want to know why. Why was it designed that way? You know, and I think we need to hold, you know, instead of just moving the park, I really want to ask why doesn't it work?
And these are the Christiansons, they bought the depot.
So the culverts that are put in, they go straight down the alley, and they're turned, they hit the corner of my house. And like say 10 hours later, I still had 6 inches of water around my whole house the other day.
So where does that water usually go?
The water, well, right now they have where it splits the road, so it goes through the two houses, and that water comes around the corner, and it just keeps going around in a circle and goes straight down the alley where the two culverts are now. If you look at the culverts, they're aimed straight down the alley, but they're tipped more this way because my house tips this way. So water's going to run, I'm going to get all the water. And that is what happened the other day. It was perfect. I was hoping it wouldn't go that way, but when we had the, inch or 2 inches of rain the other day, you know, but I wasn't getting anywhere with the state, you know, I'm not getting, you know, the construction guy's a very nice guy. He says, this is what I got paid for, this is what I did. It ain't him. You know, he says, you know, the city took it over, I believe, of last week, is that what he was saying?
June 1st.
June 1st, so.
Picture number 2, or I'm sorry, the first picture in the second row is standing at the alley looking north. And you can see the two culverts, and you can see there's a very light swale that's built in for those culverts. And it's supposed to shoot the water down the alley. And like I said, as soon as that was done, we got our 2-inch rain, and it made it all the way down the alley, so.
I love the sidewalk, and I don't want you to think I'm against the sidewalk. I think it's great to get the kids off the street and stuff like that, but if the state would have just taken, I even talked to the construction guy and spent another $20,000, they could have did it right where we could drive over it. The water could have been separated into the city park where it doesn't hurt anybody. But they kind of cut corners at the end, so. So we can drive over it because it cut a corner and now I'm getting flooded out. So we just pass these around.
Would a ridge on the east side of the culvert?
They need to bring it forward. My understanding, they need to bring that whole road on both directions, need to come forward about 10 to 15 feet. So then they can run a culvert the opposite way, which will run it out into the park. This way you can drive, but right now you're driving like this. The kids could have a teeter-totter if a car gets stuck on top of it. You know, they can teeter-totter, you don't even have to put one in the park. So, it's just like I say, I love the park idea, I just wish they would have done the job right.
Now, those two approaches need to be extended out a considerable amount.
I personally don't know why we have to park on the other side of that sidewalk.
Because you're shutting two people down. You know, if we move the park, there's two other people that drive over there. They have access to the back of their property.
You keep talking about moving the park. What exactly do you mean by moving the park?
Parking.
The parking, I'm sorry, the
The
park.
parking next to
The
the
horseshoes.
Because right now, it's the gravel on both sides, and that's not gonna hold up. If people start driving over that with rain, I mean, that kind of stuff, and what he's saying is that the two houses on Highway 11 that also have new sidewalk in front of them now, they no longer have access where they used to be able to drive down the alley. They could pull in their backyard if they wanted to park a camper or a trailer or something back there. They can't do that anymore.
If we move the parking for the park, you know, because this is a straight shot, everybody's used to doing it. And the state would have done what they were supposed to do, and the engineers.
I guess where we're confused is the state had the designs of the park and how it was set up. And so why they thought that putting this, 3-foot high embankment was not gonna affect, some people from accessing their house. the horseshoe players that play over there. I mean, it's two different concerns, the parking and then the water, but they kind of tie in together.
I was concerned about that when they started that sort part of the sidewalk, because I don't think that was the original plan.
No,
It got switched.
Because they dug that out first,
right,
as like they were just gonna make it ground level. And then they came back and filled it in and built it up.
Something about
Apparently-
the
apparently
ADA,
it
make it
wasn't
ADA compliant, yeah.
ADA compliant. So you-
It still could be if they just would have spent the extra money to bring it out farther. And-
for the drive over part,
Yes.
yeah.
And then they could have put a culvert going the other way, which would catch the water going down between the two houses. So,
Well, we better get up there and walk it and,
See what's going on.
yeah.
Hope there isn't 3 more inches of rain.
Yeah.
So do you know how that works, like how we?
That should, yeah, I mean, so I would have to get spun up on where the money came from, who paid for it, and who was responsible for it. I mean, this wasn't a grant, was it? Was this something the state just came and put in?
This
Was
is
it
a
grant?
safe routes to school,
Okay.
so it's federal money.
So the short answer is I would have to do some looking, but depending on who engineered it, and then if anybody was contracted for it. Because the gentleman is right, it is an issue as far as if it's draining into his house, it's something that's probably gonna need to be taken care of. It's just who's gonna pay for it, which is what it always comes down to.
Well, as a farmer, I know that I can't alter the course of water and dump it on somebody. And I don't think the state can either. So we'll, yeah, when Sam finds out. And when we go walking, you'd maybe like to come along?
yeah, anytime.
Yeah. But yeah, I wanna go down there and look and
Yeah,
we'll figure this thing out, cause
I can't go tomorrow, can you go down there Wednesday sometime?
I won't be around much Wednesday.
Thursday?
Thursday be good.
Okay, when you just stop at the store and I'll go down there with you.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, we'll go take a look at it. Okay, we'll go take a look at it and Sam will get to see what's going on with the thing and we'll get.
You want these or can I?
You can have
We
them.
have copies of those, thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Okay. We out here. We got time on the Alcester bar door. There's a picture in there of what was done to fix that, alleviate that problem. There was evidently a lot of gap around the door, and I think Teresa was concerned that water and snow and such was gonna blow in. So anyway, Kevin Pies went down there and put new weather stripping around it, and there's some pictures of, in here somewhere, pictures of what he did to fix it. And Dan, I think you've looked at it and you think it's sufficient?
Well, I've not seen, until just now, I didn't realize that he got that weather stripping on there. I talked to him the other day, and I said, you know, if you look at the door all the way on, I guess all the way on this end, all the way on the west end of the bar, it's got that weather stripping around it. He said, you know, they sent that with this new door, we didn't put it on. I said, well, can we put it on? He said, sure. So that's gonna help immeasurably. And like I said, he admitted that they originally installed the bottom wiper that goes across the threshold from the old door. Well, it was a little bit too tall. So what ended up happening was the door would not close by itself. They had to actually force it closed. Well, people won't do that. And because of that fact, they knew that Teresa wouldn't be pleased with it. So he just took his jackknife and cut that rubber. And he didn't do it thinking that was fixed. He just wanted to get it so that the door would close. But of course, there was a new wiper, and then he installed that now. And now you cannot see light underneath there. The other day, I mean, a mouse could have walked in. He wouldn't have even had to crawl.
Okay, so anyway, that should be taken care of now. And I think at 6:30, we can go back to, where were we? Number 8. City Council public hearing. Public hearing for 2018 zoning ordinances.
They were 3 advised, I put 2 copies out on the table for you.
I noticed that there's definite specifications on what kind of metal roofing is not allowed. I noticed that there was a change regarding parking on their own property. I think those two things were addressed very well. I don't know if anybody had any other.
What page is that?
Oh, 40 and 19, I don't know. I searched for sign, S-I-N-E. and that-
13? Page 13.
That was for like the handicap parking?
Yep,
Yeah.
yep, that allowed people to park, basically on their own property, not necessarily right in their driveway. And it did specify as long as it was within or not encroaching that 2-foot easement area, you know, on the side yard. It's, looked to me like it addressed all of the things that we had discussed here in the past.
The stuff about the corrugated metals on page 23 and 36. 23 being your small accessory buildings or garages and sheds, and 36 being homes.
Oh, yeah. So this is just a first reading anyway, right?
Yes.
The big thing here in state law, if you make changes, you'd have to go back and do another public hearing as well, which is completely fine, because now's the time to do it.
Right.
Because otherwise you'd have to do an amendment, and that would require going back to the planning commission and you guys. So if you see anything that needs to be changed, this is the time. And I also brought a couple of zoning maps, since the district's layout uses and setbacks, and these are the proposed districts, if anyone would like to see one of the maps about what everything is. And that's certainly subject to change as well, if you see anything that doesn't make sense.
So actually, if we're looking at it there, that's north. Yeah.
This was something we discussed months ago with
Yeah.
the group that was working on it, so everything should be what they suggested, but in case it's not.
Okay,
So this is the hearing?
Yep, and the next step would be your second reading and vote, and if it passes, then you'd have 20 days after it's published in the paper.
Well, I'd make a motion, we approve the first reading of the 2018 planning and zoning ordinance as presented.
I will second David's motion.
okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you.
The second reading just has to be, and then there'll be a notice of motion.
So we need some executive session.
Most.
Huh?
We need an executive session.
Interviews.
Oh, yeah, we can go with that.
Well, what, did we have,
She went on
executive session to wait all course?
She gets her.
Is that what that,
Okay, all right, thank you so much.
We'll get back to that.
Have a good day.
so you wanna do that later?
Is Cody coming?
Probably not.
Okay, then we could go into executive session right now. Okay, we don't need to wait for him then.
Okay, I'll make the motion to enter into executive session pursuant to SDCL 1-25-2-1.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to go into the executive session at 6:35. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We're in executive session at 6:35.
Again, I'm gonna ask Pat leaves because she has no say in vetting, employees.
You're not part of this council, you can ask, but get out.
I think we want you
We're
to
in
be outside.
executive
Oh,
session.
I thought, no, sorry, yeah, we'll call you in.
Yeah, just give us. Contingent on contract negotiations, that we offer the position of police chief to Jeff Christie.
That was Melissa?
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, now,
Similarly, I would like to make a motion that we offer Kendra Wistishausen, is that right, Bob? Windishausen, part-time position at, what is the current part-time rate?
14.
$14 per hour.
okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, we had the golf course, we had the finance officer, bar, sexual assault prevention and
Actually,
response
Do we
training.
need to talk about the golf
Oh,
course?
did I
We didn't
miss
finish
something?
golf course stuff.
Oh, I'm sorry. Motion to enter executive session pursuant to SDCL 1-25-2-1 personnel. Do we need that, David?
Yes, we do.
Okay. Then I would make a motion to enter into executive session pursuant to SDCL 1-25-2-1.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We're in executive session at 8:40.
I will email you guys the stats, by the way, I was gone for that.
Determined at $8.85 an hour.
And who is this lady? Does she have an application or anything?
She does, she's a gal that works HR at the Best End Nursery.
Does she like put an application? Let's see. I just don't know who she is, and I know.
Put it back together wrong.
She lives here in Alcester. She's been there for quite a while. Mother of 2 girls.
Golfer?
No.
Interesting.
But her girls are young.
Yeah.
Younger.
obviously you know her, Dave,
Not the lady.
isn't it?
She's a warm body that's gonna work for 80, 85 an hour. We need that.
somebody to get to work.
We need to
Get to work.
Yes. She's got 2 girls, she knows how to do
Yeah,
something.
well, I'll give you that.
She is a good cook. She's worked in a kitchen. She recently had a life change, so this is an opportunity for her to meet people.
Okay, we have a motion by David.
I'll second.
Darla,
What was
second.
her starting?
Eight,
85.
85. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Who seconded, sorry?
Darla.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Sexual assault prevention and response training update.
We just need to set a date. I mean, I have a list of dates that do not work for her. So if there's a date in mind, I know we talked about doing a Sunday, is that still the plan?
I would rather not do a Sunday, but I didn't know if that was
Seems
my
like
only option.
Somebody.
Well, we just
Did I
talked
just
about that as
understand?
an option, but,
Yeah.
What's a good day? I mean, we're gonna try to divide this in half, right? So, half of the employees are there in the morning, half are in the afternoon. Maybe we do like, we talked about 8 to 11, and then noon to, or 8 to 9 to noon, 1 to 4.
As long as we give Lonnie a little bit of warning, because he'll be doing some asphalt work in the near future. But if we can give them, 2-3 weeks notice on a time, that works, so we can plan accordingly. But otherwise, the rest of us are out here, so.
I'd like it to be on Friday.
And is everyone here attending, the council's attending? Mayor?
Depends on what it is. Yeah,
Friday probably doesn't work good for you.
If it's in the summer, maybe.
27th of July?
Probably not for me. Yeah, because you gotta.
Yeah,
have
right,
drivers
you got,
too.
you,
Yeah, I probably could, Jim.
Well, I must have missed something somewhere along the line. Is this a class we're
I
required
think,
to
yeah,
take?
this was the meeting that you missed. I have a former professor who offered to do this for free for us.
And it's just training on behavior and things like that.
Sexual assault prevention and response, so how to prevent it, but what to do if it happens. And if we pick a day that she cannot do, SDVAA, someone from there might do it, so it's just, whatever day, whoever does it, depends on what date we pick, basically, so.
Yep.
But
Correct me
it's
if
still
I'm
free.
wrong. It was correct, it was supposed to be required for all employees, but not necessarily for all council members. Or did we make it,
I don't think we
Required?
ever said, I think it should be required, again, I mean, it's something that's not in our current personnel manual that I think should be,
well, I don't think anything that has to do with anything on the council is in the personnel manual, is it? So, regarding that, I mean, if you couldn't make it,
Yeah,
it wouldn't be the end of the world.
And I'm gonna ask her if we
vacations in our summer, because,
Yeah.
after the first of the year, we just have no time at all
Yeah.
until May.
I'm
So-
hoping she'll give permission to film it, and that way whoever misses it can have an opportunity to.
Oh, yeah, that'd be nice.
Benefits of being there, that if you don't understand something, obviously you can ask.
Yep.
If you're not there, then you don't get to do that.
In this day and age, a little information is good.
So I know somebody said something about the lifeguards would have to do it on a Sunday, did I misunderstand that? Maybe I misunderstood.
Yeah, I think it is.
That was just a suggestion. If you want to talk with her, or now that you know her schedule, if you want to pick 3 days, 3 possible options, and then we'll just throw it out there to the employees.
Right now, or just later?
You can, whenever you
I
want.
mean, she gave me her whole schedule for the summer, so I would have to like actually sit down
Okay, no, then just
Figure out.
email me then.
and, okay.
Sometimes that you think are good, because you also have the pool,
Swimming lesson dates around here.
Yeah,
What
you
was
have-
that week?
you have
Those
swimming
weeks.
lesson dates and you have pool hours, so you can look at that and see how that coincides.
Okay. That it on that? For now?
Yes.
Okay, reminders and updates. Primary election in Union County is June 5th.
That'd be tomorrow.
Yes.
Pat out of the office June 5th to the 8th. Women's salad luncheon at the golf course on the 14th. Father Youth Golf Tournament on the 16th. July City Council meeting is July 10th at 6 p.m. Swim lessons, July 9th to the 20th. First session, second session is July 30th to August 10th. Okay, Fair Board update.
Haven't had any.
Okay, cool. HRC, Dan?
The only thing we've got is the sign has now been removed from the 46 sign out there, and eventually we're probably gonna end up having it over on Beck Drive.
Okay.
Are they gonna be doing any weed spraying on the lots?
I would assume so, we'll have to.
Okay, Alcester Community Building update. Anything on that, Pat?
Nothing at this
now? Okay. Volunteer roster update for workman's comp. Do we have any changes?
Nothing to know of.
Anybody need executive session? Okay, how about a motion to adjourn?
I will make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
Okay, we got a motion to adjourn at 9:27. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned, 9:27. Thank you, guys. And fine. Thanks.
Yeah.